Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Chrissy B Show. Now, we have a very interesting program for you tonight, as well as our usual news and, of course, my latest challenge. We're going to be speaking to Dr. Rob Hicks about something that you have in your home that has the potential to kill you. Now, what on earth could that be? We're going to be finding out later on. And I advise everyone to stay tuned because it's really, really important that you watch this and learn how to be safe in your own house. But first of all, let's start with the news with the lovely Excel.
Hello.
Hello, Excel.
Hi, viewers. Hello.
You're a little bit injured today, my love, aren't you?
Yes, just a tad.
Do you want to tell the viewers what we've been up to?
We've been up to no good. No, not really. We've had an adventure, haven't we?
We have. It was wonderful.
We've had an adventure in... I think I would have said North Wales, but I was corrected. It's North West Wales. Mm-hmm. So, and we went coasteering, diving into cold water.
From a height.
And yeah, from
and
a
Excel can't actually swim, so she did excellently. She was really, really brave. So you got that. Although was a big challenge for you.
I did call her for mummy a few times, though, but yeah.
Yeah, it was wonderful. We had a good time. So we'll be showing you these challenges that we did in Wales very soon. So look out for those.
Yep.
But I wish you better soon.
Thank you.
We have a doctor in the house today.
Yeah, well, you know, you see, I'll lick my wounds in private. All right.
So tell us, what's in the news this week?
Well,
or interesting news that you found.
Yeah, today I thought I'd do something a bit creative and follow a theme. And I'll see if you can work out the theme as the news carries on. But I'll begin with the proud parents known as Christy and Dave Casson have recently welcomed their 17th child.
Oh dear. Are you serious?
Yes. Christy is 42 and she gave birth to the new arrival Vaughan on Tuesday. And she says her and her husband have not ruled out having more children.
What on earth do you do with 17 children?
Well, this is the thing. Well, they spoke for, because the man, according to what the lady was saying, the man says, I've been at Christy's side for 16 births and I'm still blown away at welcoming new life into the world. It's an amazing experience and I cry every time.
It is an amazing experience. I understand that, but
yeah,
I mean, that's just the experience. What about afterwards? How do you take care of 17 children? Unless you're super rich and you've got like loads of nannies. But I personally think that each child needs individual attention from their mum and their dad. So I don't see how those children could grow up well-rounded.
There's not enough
I don't know if you guys agree with me at home, but I don't see how you can give attention to 17 kids, even if you are at home and you don't go to work.
No, I agree.
I'd like to get the viewers' opinions. Give us a call, 020 7686 6300. Do you think it's a good thing to have so many children, or do you think it's a little bit irresponsible, perhaps? What do you think, Excel?
I mean, I think it's all nice and it's all lovely to kind of see them, because they talk about the fact that they do everything together. You know, they talk about, you know, bonding, and say, for example, they're quite close and they go on holidays together. They're always like a spectacle wherever they go, etc. But I don't know. Do you have enough hours in a day to look after 17 kids? I think that's
probably what's happening though. Like the older ones are stepping in for mum.
Well,
and being mum, because you can't imagine that. Probably the older ones are looking after the younger ones. I can't see the mum and the dad caring for all those kids. I just don't see it.
Exactly.
I don't think that's fair on older children. Okay, it's nice to help out with siblings, but to take the parental role, I think it's not fair.
Because all the children as well, I think their ages are, this is ridiculous, I'll do this as quickly as I can. We have Dalton, who's 20, Austin, who's 18, Bailey is 16, Gage is 15, Kaylee is 13, Harper is 12, Emma is 11, Rebecca is 9, Trevor is 8, Walker is 7, Morgan is 6, Laura is 5, Sawyer is 3, and Nathaniel is 2. And Christy's 2 children from a previous relationship, Jessica, 23, and Chad, 21.
Wow.
And Christy's eldest daughter, who's Jessica, from a previous relationship, recently gave birth to their first grandchild now in February. So basically, apparently, the routines are run with military precision. You know, you have to get up at 5 a.m. and everything starts on a routine. The family eat up to 16 boxes of cereal and 8 loaves of bread a week. And 2 gallons of milk per day. They eat their meals around an 11-foot long table.
What country is this?
This is in the States. It has to be. Come on now. There wouldn't be a house big enough to come to, you know.
We do get big families over here as well. But it's like, I think some women are addicted to having babies. They just feel like they need to be pregnant all the time. I think there's actually a condition, isn't there?
Yeah, I think it is actually. If you look into it, I'm sure we'll find there's a condition about being pregnant all the time. I don't know, pregnantitis or something.
Don't make things up.
Go figure.
All right. Gosh, well, I don't know. It just
well, I mean,
I think, you know, family obviously environment is great, but so many kids.
I think there's and the funny thing about it is that they're not going to stop there. Christy would actually love to have twins.
Oh no, and maybe that's what they're aiming for.
And
keep
they
getting
would
it
like
wrong.
to get it up to 20, get the children number up to 20 as well. So, all the best.
Rather you than me.
Yeah.
How many do you want, Excel?
I don't know. I kind of just want just enough, but not too much. And I think 2 is just a cute number. Or maybe 4, maybe 6, or maybe 8, or maybe 10, or maybe 12. Who knows? I might give Christy a run for her money. Hey.
I don't see that somewhere.
But I think it's just, I'm all up for whatever you can afford, right? Sensibly. And as much as we've talked about the time as well, you want to be able to give your time to your kids and not have, you know, go spend time with, you know, the eldest and say, oh, you know, Johnny will look after you or whatever. I think wisely, sensibly. As much as, yes, I'm glad she's fertile and a lot of people can't have children, but she obviously can. But it's just, you know, each to their own, but you know. Well, yes. On to a slightly outrageous story now. A teacher wrote to parents. She's a teacher at a pre-kindergarten school. And she wrote to parents requesting that they wash their smelly children. She said, this was hilarious. She said she actually hand wrote the letter and then photocopied to each of the children to take home. And what she wrote was, several children in pre-K ages 3 to 4 are coming to school sometimes daily with soiled, stained or dirty clothes. Some give off unpleasant smells and some appear unclean and unkept. Parents, please take care of this matter. It is a health and safety concern. It also makes it difficult for me to be close to them or even want to touch them. Enough said. Please sign and return so I know you've read this. Thank you.
Is that how she sent it? Handwritten like that?
That is exactly how she sent it. And it says, I have read, and underneath the letters, she also wrote, I have read the notice, put a line, parent to sign, and then another line, child to sign.
I think that was written in anger, without thinking.
I mean, even if you want to say the kid is, you know, slightly pongy, there's
ways of writing things and like not to offend parents, because the parents are probably going to send them even dirtier, probably just to get on their nerves, because it's quite rude. I mean,
there are ways of saying things diplomatically. You know, I'm all up for being straight up and being honest and say, look, seriously, but there is a way around it. You can't just like, bleh. Because people go,
obviously
because
the kids should be sent to school clean.
Yeah, because now
it's not really fair on.
There's even some children, as a kid arrived, one of the kids arrived home and asked her grandmother and said, "Does my teacher think I stink?"
Sorry. Oh.
And then, you know, the grandma then said, no, you don't. And then she was outraged, saying, as far as this grandmother is saying, as far as she's concerned, the teacher is teaching kids how to segregate other kids. And that's not right and everything. But the teacher now has been placed on a disciplinary, and the letter and the complaints from all the parents will be put into her file, and she's possibly to face disciplinary actions.
Of course.
And apparently she will not be allowed.
Even if she did have a concern about the health of the child and everything, there's ways that she could have gone about it, or suggested maybe even like do a little class for the parents.
Have a shower club.
Yeah, just do something, but not when you like attack someone that way. Of course, you're going to get repercussions.
This is the thing, and I suppose the intention was good, but it just wasn't that great when it was executed.
She was probably having a bad day. And just thought, you know what, I can't take the smell anymore. I'm just going to say so. But let's go to a quick break, Excel. And after the break, I'll be showing you my latest challenge, which was snowboarding, which didn't go quite as well as I expected. And then we're going to continue with some more news. So do join us after this, and please do stay tuned for when Dr. Rob Hicks will be on to talk about a killer that's in your own home. Do join us after this.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back, and now it's time to see how I did on my latest challenge. Let's take a look. I'm here with Pete, who's going to be taking me through the moves to learn how to snowboard. Is this quite difficult, Pete?
It's a bit harder than skiing to get the basics of it, but once you've got that, it'll be really easy.
And what will you be doing today?
We're just going to basically get used to our snowboard, so where we've got balance on it and where we haven't, and then we're going to go up there and try and do an important bit of slowing down and stopping, so quite an important bit.
All right, thank you. Okay, so let's get started.
That's it, nice.
No, wait. No, please don't let go. No. I really enjoyed that, actually, and I think I passed this one. What do you reckon, Pete?
Yeah, I'll give it to you. I think you did better and better. You got used to your board a lot more, so yeah, she passed, I reckon.
Just that front bit I couldn't do coming down front ways, but at least I got the side one.
Yeah, definitely, you got it. We won't show the bits, the edited bits.
I think we have to. Thanks so much, Pete. Thank you. I passed. I don't know if you can really call that passing. I did try my best though, but that was really scary, that one.
I think you have to say 10 out of 10 for at least for your
effort. Do you know what's scary about it? It's because your feet are locked into place, so you can't actually move them at all. They're just locked there. And I think that's what I found a bit scary.
Is that how it really happens? I thought it was like a freestyle thing, or is that for training purposes? They lock your feet in?
I think that's how it is.
Oh my word.
That's what I found scary, but it was good. It was good. I'm glad I tried it.
Ooh, oh boy.
Next.
Well, the bit of news I have here next is about a bodybuilding mum from Los Angeles. Her name's Leanne Ellison. And she had created controversy because she was working out right up till the day she gave birth. And she, there were pictures of her with her bump, doing a workout, doing exercise with being heavily pregnant. And she actually received a lot of online abuse, I think via her Twitter account or something. See, everybody does online insult nowadays. It's wrong, people. But anyway, she had received abuse because she was quite very heavily pregnant, and she was pushing weights basically.
Do we have pictures of her?
She didn't have. Yes, I think we have one. Or actually, we have one.
Oh.
And yes, that's her there, doing kettlebell weights, and I think there's a photo we actually had that also showed her actually weightlifting. What do you call the dumbbells or whatever you call it?
The bar.
The
barbells.
Yeah, bar. She actually was pushing some of those as well. And I think she got criticized because, you know, people were saying, well, you're putting your baby at risk. You could have a miscarriage. And basically,
is that true though?
Well,
medically?
I think she's passed. I mean, we can always ask the doctor, but as far as I'm aware, once you've passed the first trimester, I'm not saying be reckless, but you're less at risk of
I thought
such
women
things.
could still I don't know about that kind of weight training, but I thought women should still be exercising when they're pregnant.
Absolutely, you're right, because I actually looked into this further and found out that scientists from the US and Germany carried out extensive research, and the results provide evidence that maternal exercise during pregnancy can actually program the arteries of the offspring and help prevent heart disease in the child.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, obviously, to a certain extent, because they actually recommend that women should actually exercise moderately, physical activity every day of the week, if possible, for half an hour. So
There you go then. But I don't know about pushing heavy weights, because that looked a bit strenuous what she was doing, and like that was a deep squat she was doing there.
But I think at the end of the day, I think it's down to what her body is used to. I don't think, from what I understand, she's already a bodybuilder, and she obviously then became pregnant, and I think she's already had that habit, and she's already had that, you know, she's
and I think some women as well, they get scared when they get pregnant. They get scared of getting out of shape. As well. So
but I think with her, because she even compared it, because she already has 2 kids. She has a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old, and she compared this birth, because now she's giving birth. She compared this birth now to her previous 2. She said, I think she said he took 10 minutes or something to come out. It didn't take long. He says, I think he said he moved so fast and there wasn't much pushing. And she literally, I can't seem to see the time now. Oh yeah, she delivered just over an hour in a water bath. It just popped out. And she delivered it herself.
I think there may be a new craze for pregnant ladies to be doing weight training.
There you go. And this was what she said.
But please check with your doctor first if it's safe to do. Don't just go and do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And she was also talking about the fact that he's gaining weight beautifully, and he's already 8 pounds. And she herself as well is shrinking nicely.
There you go.
With only 7 pounds left to be the same as her pre-pregnancy weight. So, you know, at the end of the day, exercise will definitely get you back into your body pre-pregnancy, but at the same time, I think because she's already been doing the exercise, she's already a bodybuilder kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not going to suddenly, I'm pregnant today and I start lifting weights. That would be foolishness. But I think with her, the fact that there was already something established, you know, she's already.
I'm wondering why she was taking photos of herself doing that anyway, and
I think she
publishing them where for people to be.
Yeah, I think she probably just wanted to encourage people, because one of the things she said is people said that she was selfish to continue to exercise, but she said she was doing it for the labor, and she was right. And you know, at the end of the day, it worked for her. I'm not, like you said, we're not going to recommend everybody start pushing weights because you're pregnant, but like I said, I think it's down to the fact that she already was a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And the benefits of it, and also even the fact that she even says as well that people will talk negatively about something they don't understand. So if we look into it, the fact that fitness and pregnancy are not meant to be, you know, they're meant to be hand in hand. You are encouraged to exercise because that is better for the baby in the long run. So,
but it's true though how people sort of react to things, isn't it? They don't know. They find something unconventional and they just start criticizing and sending all these insults.
Exactly.
It's quite sad, really, isn't it?
Because it's not usual, isn't it?
Yeah,
People would tend to go, "Ooh, we have never seen that done, so there must be something wrong with it." Well, look into it first and find out.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
Absolutely. Because leading on to something else as well is that surgeons.
I'm still not seeing this. You said there was something that the news articles had in common. Or kids.
Yeah.
I can't remember the first one. Well, never mind. Sorry.
It was kids. It's all been kids.
I think I'm just hungry. Yeah, go on. What's the next one?
There is a child that was found during an ultrasound to have had a problem with their heart. And surgeons, after practicing on a grape, performed surgery on the fetus.
Oh, after practicing on a grape?
How's that for modern technology? Love it. When I read it,
Did
I was
it
like, I
work?
was inspired. Yep. Apparently, they found that the because the size of a fetus's heart is about the size of a walnut, apparently, so probably about maybe that size, and it was developing. They noticed on the ultrasound that it was developing with one of the valves was too narrow. I think on the left hand side. Yep, on the left hand side, and it was going to cause something called hypoplastic left heart syndrome. I said
Well
that in
done,
one word.
Excel.
Yes. And because he had an aortic, one of the left aorta was too narrow, so it ended up meaning that the heartbeat was the the amount of blood coming into the heart was restricted, and so it was sort of building up in the ventricle. Don't fall asleep, stay with me. And so because of that, the surgeons had to go in. They actually went into the fetus with the fetus still in there. They gave the mother what did they give her? They gave her a local anesthetic, and they also gave the fetus some anesthetic as well, and a muscle relaxant so it wouldn't kick during the surgery. And they literally went in.
Oh my gosh,
and they worked very delicately in the so now the child has a chance to have the left ventricle to recover without with good function, and to not have, because hypoplastic left heart syndrome is a birth defect that affects normal flow through the heart. We've heard of things like hole in the heart, which is something, it's one of those things that can develop. So now that they've corrected it, the child has a chance to be born and have a normal heart, and
nice.
not have any of
After
that problem.
practicing on a grape.
They practice on a grape, and they used a jelly mold to replicate the mother's body and the grape to represent the heart.
I don't know, these things don't cease to amaze us, do they?
I was absolutely baffled when I saw it. I thought, this is fantastic.
So you're going to stay with us, because
Absolutely.
after the break we'll be speaking to Dr. Rob Hicks about something that's potentially very, very dangerous in your own home, and what you can do to make sure you stay safe. So do join us after this.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to the show, and now I'm joined by Popular Media UK doctor, and that is Dr. Rob Hicks. Hello.
Hi, good evening.
Welcome back.
Thank you for having me back.
I'm so pleased to have you here, because we're going to speak about something that's really, really important, and that affects absolutely everyone that lives in a house.
That's right. Well, we're going to talk tonight about carbon monoxide gas,
Yes.
which is the true silent killer. And the problem with it is, obviously it's silent, but you can't smell it and you can't taste it. So it could be around in your house and causing you great harm, and you might not know anything about it. And the other challenge with carbon monoxide poisoning is the symptoms it causes: headache, dizziness, nausea, tummy pain, maybe a bit of shortness of breath, are remarkably similar to the symptoms you get with the flu or food poisoning. So many people may be actually unaware of the fact that they're being poisoned by this gas, and they're putting it down to, oh, I just had a dose of the flu, or a tummy upset.
Now, for people that don't know, where does this gas actually come from?
Well, where it comes from is it's produced from fuel burning appliances like boilers, central heating, fires, cookers that use coal, wood, oil, that sort of fuel, when these are not working properly. So if the appliances are working properly, then they produce very, very little carbon monoxide. But if they've not been installed correctly, or they've not been maintained properly, or they simply go wrong, then they can be producing carbon monoxide gas into a home. And one of the problems we face, or we see at this time of the year, of course, lots of people, they want to keep their homes warm. Maybe they don't want to use too much heating because it can be expensive. So what do? They block up the chimney, or they block up the vents to keep the heat in. Well, that means that any carbon monoxide that's produced can't escape. So the way that the carbon monoxide works is you either get too much of it being made because of faulty appliances, or actually that is made can't escape. And the tragedy is this gas can kill within minutes.
Gosh.
So somebody might go to bed at night and sadly they won't wake up the next day. And in the UK, we've got at least 40 deaths a year from carbon monoxide poisoning, and all these deaths are preventable. Over 200 people are left severely ill after poisoning, and the NHS treats over 4,000 people a year because of carbon monoxide poisoning.
Gosh. So what can people actually do to safeguard themselves from this?
Well, the key things are to know the symptoms, and as I said, a lot of the symptoms are similar to the common flu or food poisoning. However, if you find that when you leave your home, the symptoms disappear, and then when you come back, the symptoms appear again, then that should be waving a red flag to you that it could be carbon monoxide that's causing the problem and not the flu or food poisoning. Get your fuel burning appliances serviced regularly, annually. Please don't block up your vents or block your chimney.
Is it good to keep windows open then in the winter,
ideally
even though your
if you
heating's
can,
on?
yes, ideally if you can, to provide some ventilation. And certainly the carbon monoxide Be Alarmed campaign, that I'm part of, trying to raise awareness of this, would, very sensibly says, get yourself an audible carbon monoxide alarm.
Now, how does that work then? Because it's not the same as a smoke alarm, is it?
No, and that's what's very important to highlight, is that if you've got a smoke alarm, that won't protect you against carbon monoxide. So as a device, they look very similar, but of course they detect high levels of carbon monoxide, and then they start screaming at you. The beeper goes off.
Yeah.
If you hear that beep going off, what you need to do is open the windows, turn off any fuel burning appliances, turn off your boiler, turn off your cooker, move outside, and if you're feeling any sort of symptoms at all, or if you're not sure, then obviously seek medical advice.
Right.
And the great thing about these alarms is actually, they're about £20. Many of them will last for up to 7 years. So when you think about spreading the cost of that money over 7 years, £3 a year to save a life.
Yeah.
It's
nothing, is it? I mean,
no.
Because as you said, it's something that's really common and at the moment it's not actually law to have these devices, is it?
No, laws are changing. So in certain parts of the UK, new builds have to have a carbon monoxide alarm installed. If somebody's having a new boiler or a replacement boiler or gas, fuel burning appliance fitted, they have to have an alarm fitted. But it's not law, consistently throughout the UK. So the best thing people can do is get to their DIY store or go online and get themselves a proper carbon monoxide alarm. Easy to install as well. I mean, you don't need to be, you put them at head level, at least 1 metre away from the fuel burning appliance. Obviously follow the instructions, but what a nice Christmas gift for somebody.
That's true, isn't it?
It's
not the conventional gift, is it? But that does show you care.
It's the gift of love, isn't it? Yeah.
Definitely. So, Rob, I know you started to help out this charity. Can you tell us how you got involved in the first place and what the charity is all about?
I got involved because I heard about somebody who tragically had lost a child to carbon monoxide, and almost coincidentally, a charity contacted me, and quite honestly, I was not aware. I didn't have a carbon monoxide alarm. I was aware a little bit.
I have to admit, I don't have one, but I'm definitely going to get one now because.
So, and this is what happened to me. I heard the tragedy. I thought there's a simple step that I can take and others can take to try and prevent this sort of tragedy. I went straight out and I bought my first carbon monoxide alarm, and I've been involved with the charity, ever since. And it's got a great website. It's the carbon monoxide, co-bealarm.co.uk. Loads of information there about the signs to look out for, how to find somebody who's appropriately trained to come and service your appliances, because that's very important as well. They really need to be on the gas safe register.
Okay.
And the things to look out for, and what should alert you to actually seeking some medical advice.
Gosh, well, I really hope that's educated our viewers tonight, Rob. But before you go, now we had that article from Excel earlier about the heavily pregnant lady doing weight training. Can you tell us what is recommended for women that are pregnant and to do with exercise as well?
I mean, exercise in pregnancy is a good thing for all the health reasons why you do exercise when you're not pregnant. What the general advice is that somebody is able to continue the level of exercise that they're previously used to. So you wouldn't,
like
be somebody
said earlier,
who spends most time sitting down and then decide, you know, you're halfway through your pregnancy, I want to run a marathon. So, and obviously you seek the advice of your midwife and your doctor before you embark on a new type of exercise. I think the major concern with the weightlifting is it puts an awful lot of pressure on the pelvic floor muscles, which pregnancy does anyway, but also there's the risk of accidents, so the balance issue.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
true.
that's why we advise women who are pregnant, particularly in the later stages of pregnancy, not to be involved in sort of contact sports or things like horse riding, because of the risk of balance and falls and injury. And we saw the photo earlier on. You know,
that was a deep squat she was doing.
I mean, you know, she's obviously very fit and I suspect incredibly sensible and has taken great advice. The bottom line is, you know, do what you think is safe, but if you're not sure at all, then just ask your midwife or your obstetrician or your GP what they think.
All right, Rob, it's been a pleasure as usual. Thanks so much for coming on the show. And you'll be back again soon because we're going to be talking about something quite interesting. Should we tell the viewers what it is?
Go on then.
Basically, it's going to be about what your poo says about you. Yes, and that got the attention of the cameraman who just looked straight up at me. So what you can tell basically from your number twos and to see if you're nice and healthy or to see if you actually need to go and get yourself checked out. So that's going to be next time you come on, isn't it, Rob?
Yes, a completely different subject.
Completely, but a very important one, isn't it?
Very important, yeah,
Extremely
because you'd be
important.
surprised the number of people who have problems related to their motions.
Yeah. Well, you see, you put it more politely than I did, but never mind. Thank you so much, Rob. So do join us after the break where I'll be answering a question from a viewer and we'll get some more news as well from Excel.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back. And just to continue a little bit more with the carbon monoxide gas issue, I've had this tweet from Bakita who says, "You've just reminded my dad to take his carbon monoxide alarm out of its box. I'm so happy about that, and please do activate it and put it somewhere in your home, please." And also, I was just asking Excel during the break if she has an alarm, and she says she doesn't need one because her house is all electric. Now, for those of you that were also watching and say, I don't need it either because I don't have any of those gas appliances in my house. Well, actually, Dr. Rob Hicks says that carbon monoxide can actually seep through your neighbour's wall. So if they have gas or they have boilers, then it could seep through their wall and affect your household too. So you still need, or you still should get an alarm. So I hope that's helped. Now I'm going to answer a question from a viewer who's having a little bit of a struggle at home. Now she says, "I'm struggling to cope and manage with my young boy who is 3 years old. He's very energetic and stubborn. I don't get any help from my husband and I'm at the end of my tether. What would Chrissy do?" Now, I can imagine, I mean, I don't have children myself, but I can imagine that having young children is quite stressful anyway. And most of them are energetic, so that's kind of normal. Yes, I believe your husband should be helping you, but for some reason he's not. So we need to kind of see maybe why he's not actually helping. Maybe he feels a bit overwhelmed. I don't know if it's your first child and he doesn't know how to cope. But whatever it is, I would try and maybe change the way you're asking for his help. So if, for example, and I don't know if this is the case, but if, for example, you say things like this to him: "You never help me, you're here all day and I'm not getting any help from you, you need to do more." If that's the kind of way you're maybe communicating to him because you're stressed as well, then probably that's not going to work and that's going to maybe push him away. So what you could try doing is try to turn it around a bit and say, "Look, I really need some help and I could really do with sitting down and discussing how we can manage our child." So you're kind of saying, instead of using the word you, which for most men is major nagging and they hate it, and I can talk from experience because I used to do that a lot, turn it around and say, "I could do with some help, I need some help," and that will hopefully help you and like sort things out. So do try that first, but I would also try to get some help, maybe get from someone experienced. So maybe you can talk to, I don't know, your parents or people that have young children, have had young children before, and to see how they managed, how they coped, and maybe there's some tips that they could pass on to you. And obviously there are organisations that can help you as well, so do check that out. So I hope that's helped you. And if you have a question for me and would like to know what I would do if I were in your shoes, please do email me on chris@chrissybshow.tv. Now back to Excel with some news.
Yes. Continuing with our theme.
Kids. There's a lot of kids stuff today, isn't there?
I know.
Yeah.
Fab. I think we must have, yes, absolutely.
That wasn't planned.
Well, a young mum, called Leanne Need, who went to school to pick up her daughter, picked up an extra one. Do you know how? Any guesses? Call in now. You have 10 seconds. Well, what it was...
How did she pick up an extra child?
She was heavily pregnant. And so her waters broke when she got to the school. And went into labour. Funnily enough, this was also the same school she had gone to when she was a child.
Oh.
And it was one of her old teachers who actually assisted in the birth.
Oh, gosh.
And she actually gave birth in her classroom.
So did that baby fly out?
It's 15
Maybe
minutes.
she was weight training.
Maybe she was weight training. This was the one I mistook earlier for saying the other one took 15 minutes. It was her that took 15 minutes. Yeah, she took 15 minutes to pop out the child, and born in Leanne's old classroom, assisted by one of her former teachers and a paramedic parent.
Oh, lovely.
So there you go. Easiest.
She took 2 kids home. Wow, well done.
You know, 1 for 1, you know, buy one, get 1 free. Yeah, absolutely. And because she was talking about the fact that she didn't even realize, she just went out quickly to just pick the child up. But obviously, you know, the other one knew that it was time to come out. So they actually made a makeshift bed for her from office chairs, blankets, and a cushion.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, how's that?
Well done.
Well, following on with the birthing stories, I have to say,
Enough of children now.
I've got no. It has to be because,
another one.
Because it was
Okay.
lovely. I found all these lovely gooey baby stories. I had to. I'm sorry. I'll mix it up.
Are you getting a bit
next time.
clucky?
Let's not go there.
All right.
Well, this birth story is enough to make your eyes water.
Oh no.
A mother in China gave birth to a baby weighing 13 pounds and 10 ounces.
No.
I have a photo
That's massive.
of the baby beside a fellow newborn. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know how she did that, but I say kudos to the mother.
Was it a natural birth?
It was a birth, and it was what do you call it? She was 27, and she says it was her protein-rich diet of milk, eggs, and fruit that led to her baby growing so big. The baby is twice the average size of a baby born in China.
Oh my gosh.
And in comparison, just for you to have an
Can I see the
idea,
picture again, please?
just for you to have an idea,
That's
he weighs more than
looks like a
6.
sumo wrestler.
He weighs more than 6 bags of sugar, Chrissy.
Oh, the poor lady.
6 bags of sugar. That is not sweet.
Gosh.
Speaking to the Chinese state television, that's what she talked about her diet, and she talked
What if
about.
that made the Guinness Book of World Records?
No, apparently there's a heavier baby than that was actually also born in China. That one weighed 15 pounds and 8 ounces. This was last year. This happened. I actually remember that baby.
Something they're eating there in China.
Seriously. And the doctor, she said she drank milk as well and ate an egg every day, and she ate.
Or was
a
she
lot of
trying to
fruit.
get the baby bigger? Or was it just...
I suppose she felt she needed to give the baby a protein-rich diet or something. But her doctors said the reason why the baby was so big was because she spent a lot of her time in bed, and she gained weight very quickly because she was eating a lot more than usual.
Because she needs to do some weight training.
See?
Again, it's
The
all linking, isn't it?
There you
today?
go. This was the reason why I thought I have to fight and stand up for my weight training girlfriend. So... don't be like this one, be like the weight training one. But of course, start weight training first. We heard Dr. Hicks say earlier, you have to, carry on as you've already been used to. Good stuff. And I also found another...
I really hope our viewers like talking about babies, because we've probably just lost everyone now.
No,
but I'm finding it interesting anyway.
I don't don't think we have, because I think this is really adorable as well. A couple that had some problems in the beginning having children because they tried a lot of fertility treatments, and I think they were pregnant for, I can't remember how long for, and I think they had about 2 or 3 miscarriages or something in a space of 16 months. They tried a lot of things, and so unfortunately they had some miscarriages. So they were devastated when, after doing a fertility treatment, that's when that happened as well. So this time round, when they found out they were pregnant, they decided to mark this occasion in a unique way, in a different way, and the couple made a rap video. I loved it. So I have to say, I think you can just find it if you go on YouTube and probably just find rap couple video or something. But I found it on the news, and it was so hilarious. They call themselves, because the couple are called, the woman is called Jarlene and the man is Lincoln, and they call themselves Jalincoln. and it was so hilarious. The man was there, like he would do, how you kind of find in rap videos, someone would speak and the other person would respond. And then at one stage the man came and went, "Where my baby at? Where my baby at?" and then he said, "No, seriously, where my baby at?" And then she held up the picture of a sonogram against the bump and went, "It's in here."
I see that one. How many views did it get?
Apparently they got nearly 40,000 views when it was posted. I think within a week they got 40,000 views, because it's also on YouTube. And the things he was saying as well was, we were saying in the lyrics, he said, "I work hard bringing bacon and making dough to turn this party of 2 into a 3-man show." See? And then, and they said,
I can understand why they're so happy after so many failed attempts.
Absolutely. And I think it's a unique way as well. And I'm glad as well it's been celebrated, because, we could easily say, "Oh, boring. But I think it's unique, especially the fact that they're celebrating, having
nice.
had.
I'm very happy for them. Congratulations. I'm really happy for you.
And the baby
That's
is due
lovely.
in May 2014, so I'm sure we'll get another video as to when it comes out. Yeah.
And the first words will be on there as well.
Absolutely.
The baby will be rapping as well.
Absolutely.
Excel, thank you so much, my lovely.
You're very welcome.
It's been lovely having you on again, and
Thank
we'll see you
you.
again next Friday.
Yes.
Okay, so everybody, that's it for today's show. And don't forget, this is your show too, even though it's called the Chrissy B Show, but I'm very open to suggestions. If there's a subject that you'd like to see covered on this program, please do get in touch with me by emailing chris@chrissybshow.tv. And if you want more information about any of our guests and also anything to do with the show, you can visit the website chrissybshow.tv. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday. Bye-bye for now.